Whenever I'm nervous, my hands get cold, and my hands are freezing. I'm nervous because this Sunday we're going to do something we've never done before. Rather than sitting in rows as we usually do, we're going to gather around tables and our service will be entirely table-led and focused. I know this is different, and whenever we do something different, it can feel uncomfortable. And whenever things might be uncomfortable, I'm tempted to just avoid it. I encourage you to fight that tendency. Please come and participate. Simon Sinek is famous for advising start with why. So I'm going to tell you why we're trying this, and then I'll give you some information about what to expect. I hope this will help you feel confident enough to join us this Sunday. Jesus often used table settings in his teaching and ministry to demonstrate what the kingdom of God would look like and to visibly communicate the gospel. It was at a table in Emmaus and then a table in the upper room that he revealed himself as the resurrected Lord. He was at a table when he revealed that his body would be broken and his blood poured out for our forgiveness and restoration. He told a story about a banquet table filled with the crippled, the poor, the wounded, the blind, to help us imagine what the kingdom would look like. We were reminded a couple weeks ago that Jesus gives us spiritual nourishment and encouragement as we gather at the table still. So what will this service look like? When you arrive, you'll be greeted at the doors as usual, and for the morning services, you'll be directed to one of 4 locations: the gym, the lobby, the Kids Zone lobby, or the Kids Zone center. I encourage you to sit in the location assigned to the section of the worship center that you normally sit in, and I know you have a normal seat. There will be maps and people to help you find your spot. This will give you a chance to get to know some of the people you sit close to each week. In church at 6, we'll be gathering in our usual location, the Kids Zone Center. Preschool and nursery will run as normal. If you have elementary students or older, they're invited to join us at the table. The questions in the service have been designed for your kids to participate as much as they would like to. Each location will have a coffee station where you can grab a coffee or some water, and then find your table. Each table will have printed instructions that will guide you through the service, and each location will have staff assigned to support you in any way that you need through the service. The service will be divided into 3 sections. First, you'll focus on one another. This section of the service will allow you to connect with one another around the table by sharing something you're thankful for, a recent highlight, something you're looking forward to, etc. Second, you will focus on the Word. At your table, you'll read a scripture passage and talk about it together, sharing what stood out to you, what it tells you about God, how it encourages you, etc. Third, you'll focus on the Lord's table. At each table, there will be bread and juice, and you'll participate in communion together. You'll be prompted to move to each section, so you don't even have to watch the time. Sitting in rows directs our attention to whatever's happening at the front. And sitting around a table directs our attention towards one another. And while Jesus is with us wherever we are, when we gather in his name and pay attention to one another's presence, Jesus makes his presence known in a special way. So my prayer is you would come and experience communion and Jesus' presence in a new way.
Hello, church family. My name is Mary Gay Pinchas.
And I'm Deb Firth. We're 2 of your church board members, and we'd like to give a short update from the board.
Deb, let's do this using questions and answers. I bet our congregation has lots of questions, like why do we do these updates every month?
Well, I've always loved hearing updates from the church board. So why monthly updates? Well, sometimes board members or even staff can be working on something or with information for a while. In some cases, we end up just assuming the congregation knows what's happening, but that's not always the case. Our hope since we started doing these was, and still is, that these regular updates would not only help keep our congregation informed, but would further open the door and encourage transparency between the board and the congregation.
That makes sense. I appreciate that the board would do that. I know another question people have is, why are the board and staff calling all the members?
Well, that's a fair question, and it actually has a few answers to it. First off, the intention is simple. When we talked about membership at the last membership meeting, the members asked for greater accountability. And so these phone calls allow us to check up on our members, and especially those members who haven't been attending regularly. We want their feedback, such as, are there areas of hurt or pain that are affecting their attendance? Are there changes in their lives that affect their ability to get to church? Is there feedback that would benefit our leadership? We also want to see how we can pray for our members. We have a list of prayer requests, and the board and staff are very committed to praying for our members. It's been great to connect with our membership and hear the stories of how they've seen God at work. As you know, Mary Gay, it's taking us a bit of a while to get through the list, but the conversations have been so rich. So I'm going to fire a question back at you, Mary Gay. I know we've hired a new pastor, but where is he?
We are so excited for Mesh Hitt and his wife Laura and his kids Joab and Grace to join us. Mesh will be starting on November 10th. Jeremy and Mark shared that within about a week, Mesh put his house up for sale. He sold it, secured a rental property in Lethbridge. This is a huge answer to prayer. We really want to thank our congregation for praying for Mesh.
That's great news. And Mary Gay, I'm sure people also wonder what we as a board are working on. Well, one thing I know is our value statements. We're committed to going slow with this very important aspect of our church and to ensure our congregation has lots of opportunity for input. A proposed set of value statements will be brought forward at our annual meeting. So we'll look forward to your input, congregation.
Deb, we heard there's another annual meeting on November 4th. Some people may wonder, what is an annual meeting?
It's really a time of reviewing what has happened in the year, both financially and ministry-wise. It's also a chance to look ahead at our vision and plan for next year. Anyone can attend an annual meeting, but it's only those who are members who can vote and speak on items. Mary Gay, what else from our recent board meeting do you think the congregation would want to know?
Some of it is business stuff, which isn't quite as exciting, but the auditor came in and shared her view of our financial processes. She was extremely encouraging. Our staff are doing an excellent job managing the finances.
Yes, that was great news. Another note of interest is that the policy subcommittee is continuing to update and work through our policies. They're now working with an editor who is ensuring that they're all uniform in layout, tied together, and easy to understand. They're making slow progress, but it's positive forward progress. And while Mary Gay, I think our time is up. So remember, congregation, if you have any further questions, concerns, or suggestions, you can reach out to us through board@efreelethbridge.ca.
And please, church family, join us in praying for our staff families this month. May God protect them and encourage them. May we continue to see Jesus at work in and through our church. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, church. I have been here just over 6 months now. It's hard to believe how quickly time has flown by. It's been so much fun. I'm working really closely with the team, and I'm really loving the environment here at the church and having a job and work that is truly life-giving and meaningful in an eternal way. So thank you for the opportunity to work here, and I'm excited as I get to work more with different ministries. I'm excited to work alongside with each of you. Also, let's talk about people working here. In 2 Sundays from now, November 10th, our new pastor of Church Life, Mesh Hitt, will start. Sunday's his first day here at the church, and he'll be here in all of our services that day, and you'll be able to see him in person. And he'll be spending, I'm sure, the first few days getting acclimated to living in Lethbridge and figuring out where things are in the church and what key works in what door. All that sort of stuff is going to tie him up a little bit. And if you are connected to small groups or the different church life ministries, you'll be hearing from Mesh real soon. Also, we've had some changes that you probably have heard of. Kylie Dubber, who was previously with Global Outreach and Intercultural Ministries, is now fully transitioned into her role as the Executive Director of Administration, which means we've had a chance to look at our staff structure, look at job descriptions, and make a few adjustments with the gap in mind. So with that in mind, I want to, first of all, say thank you to Chris Hardy and Ken Duick. They have stepped in a volunteer staff position and they are leading the intercultural ministries, that's Chris Hardy specifically, and the global outreach team, that would be Ken Duick. Thank you so much for your extra effort. They were already involved in these ministries, but they've stepped up to give leadership as we re-examine how we're going to staff. So the other change that's happening is we've created a new position. And what that means is Luke Watson, who as part of his previously was responsible for local outreach, is going to move away from local outreach. He's going to be focused on next generation ministries, so children, youth, young adults, and family ministries. He's going to oversee that entire team. And we have created a new position called Pastor of Local Engagement. So what is the Pastor of Local Engagement responsible for? Well, right out of our job description, it says they are responsible to develop relationships with community leaders and partner with local organizations to serve our city effectively. So the key areas we want this person to focus on would be our faith-based partner organizations, Indigenous groups, and newcomers to Canada, or what we currently call intercultural ministries. So if you or someone you know may be interested in that role, go to our website for information, more information, or to apply. That's all for me.